Alright, welcome back, guys, to the channel. Week 2, here we go. We're back with the same squad. Cameron and Nick are here again.
G'day, g'day.
Let's go. How are we, boys?
And
Good.
now we're back with doing well. Episode 2 of The Mandalorian. Bit of a distraction from what's going on in the world now, which is good because everyone seems to be focused on some political drama. I don't care about it, but we'll see how we go. But another episode this week, and definitely, I think what we weren't expecting. I think we were expecting a lot from the end of, especially the last episode. And again, big spoiler warning about what happened at the end. We saw Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett, and we're expecting maybe some showdown, maybe on Tatooine, or an interaction with the Mandalorian. And maybe it was going like that at the start, because obviously we had the interaction with the 3 bounty hunters, and then maybe he was going to run into him at a village. But as we saw, that was not the case, and we didn't get that payoff. And I think I've seen a lot of people a bit disappointed with this episode, saying it was a bit filler, and it's just another sidetrack. So we'll get to discussing about it. So in terms of the start, I was really pleased with it. I liked the cool showdown with the bounty hunters. Bit unexpected, they was taken off guard, and then he sort of outsmarted them again, and we saw that cool trick with the jetpack, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's cool. You never see them kind of every time someone goes up in the air, they seem to just find their way down.
yeah,
Kind of in a Star Wars with some jetpack or
Yeah.
fall.
Like they
So
land on
it's cool
something
just-
soft or.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it was cool to just see them use
When you watch Jedi in
gravity
the Clone
against
Wars
the
jumping from cliffs and they just land like just.
I originally actually thought that, you know how it's like the body that hits the ground first? I thought he still had the jetpack on him.
Oh,
And
okay,
that's why I was
Yeah.
confused why nothing was happening for a good few seconds. And then you just see the jetpack kind of just come back down all by itself. That was cool.
Nah, and then
Yeah,
in terms again, from a technical standpoint, I'm not going to deny that the episode was obviously fantastic. The way Mandalorian's been shot and the standard, obviously, this season from the first episode, it's been great. But in terms, I have a few issues with the episode, obviously, in terms of what it leads to. In terms, it's just again the same. You see it a lot with some Rebels and Clone Wars episodes as well, where they get lost on a deserted planet, and then they got to escape, and then yay, it's all happy ending at the end of the next trek. But the thing is with Rebels and Clone Wars, when you watch that, there's a lot of episodes to those series. Each season's, I know they're probably 20-minute episodes, but each season's probably I think 20 episodes as well. And then
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
short 20-minute episodes as well. Where Mandalorian, we're starting to expect more, especially after hearing the casting choices, and then also what happened at the end of the last episode, and to see him leave Tatooine, and we see he has to go to some gas planet of Cole Ivan, I think, to deliver their eggs for obviously the Frog Lady, and that's what she was credited as, the Frog Lady. But
Yeah.
as soon as he left Tatooine, I'm like, oh, we're not going to get any Boba Fett payoff. And then where it's heading off to now, as we see with the ending as well, what happens, it doesn't look like we're going to get any Boba Fett payoff again, unless he goes back to Tatooine, or somehow he's tracking him.
Well, yeah. I mean, it looks like Boba Fett's been on Tatooine ever since he got
Yeah.
swallowed by the monster boy. So
Good point.
it's like if he's never left it, and the main character, I mean, DeLorean and Baby Yoda have just left now, it's like it's going to be way down at the end of the season
Yeah.
before he shows up. And I have to say, I kind of backed on. I thought maybe at the start that the bounties that the bounty hunters that try and get him, like the Jawa and the other guys, I thought maybe they were maybe a tag team with Boba Fett, you know what I mean? And he was
Yeah.
leading them.
Yeah.
How you'd seen that before with a couple other characters in Clone Wars and
Maybe
Rebels,
sort of
but
flush him out a bit and then take him out. But we didn't see it.
yeah.
That's a good point because he doesn't have any reason to come back to Tatooine now, does he?
No.
No.
Oh, the only time probably I think, I forgot her name, but the mechanic lady, in terms of
Yeah.
maybe sometimes taking care, repairing your ship, because obviously your ship's going to need repairs
True.
now. And
Yeah, that's true.
she's got the droids. But in terms of, obviously, he just went straight to her. I don't know how he found the village, the exact same village that she was on. Oh, I guess he was headed that way and he walked there. But
Yeah,
he found her exactly at that same spot, and obviously she found the ant. I forgot what the species it was, but sort of ant-like creature. And then he told, I know
yeah.
someone that knows the Mandalorians. And then we kickstart there, and then the episode kicks on to where he's going to. I think he has to go to a moon first. So I'm not sure if that's the moon, the snow planet, before he gets
Yeah,
to.
they didn't really make that clear. If he was on near the planet that he was about to crash at. From what it sounded like, he wasn't because he's just sitting
Yeah.
out He just set it to like the nav so he could keep traveling.
Yeah, and no, yeah, she says as well that I think that the frog lady, like when you know how she puts like on the voice thing and like she can
Yeah.
talk to him, I'm pretty sure she says that like it's a planet that'll be hospitable for my species and all that kind
Oh,
of
okay.
stuff. And obviously
True.
the snow planet clearly wasn't like that, you know. And
Yeah.
also I think she said her husband was there as well. So like
Yeah, it is
obviously he
hard.
might not be right at the
Because
crash site, but they'd probably see him.
her husband's supposedly the one that's seen Mandalorians, so that's why he's going to.
Yeah.
He's sort of just following like a thin paper trail at the moment, and that's where we
Mm.
get. So I think where I think it's gonna lead maybe is that obviously the Boba Fett thing's done because he's still on Tatooine. He's gonna go probably to this other planet now, find the find the husband obviously, and then either they'll reveal at the end of the next episode the other Mandalorians, or then he would have to go to another planet and find more Mandalorians. Which I think the Mandalorian payoff is gonna be Bo-Katan probably. It has to be. I think it has to be. That's how they're going to introduce her
That'd be
into the
cool.
story.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe just from the trailer, this is something that we still haven't seen yet. They're obviously going to end up at a water planet at some time.
Yeah, the Quarry
I mean,
planet. Yeah,
yeah,
Hopefully
so
a few more Gungans.
one color. Yeah.
yeah, they could meet up with Sabine. That's definitely
Yeah.
something that could happen.
Sabine, yeah.
That would
Um,
be worth the wait, I guess.
I
So
was gonna ask you, Ellie. You
Why not?
probably know this. What happened to Mandalore, like during the Empire and everything? Like, is that still a planet? Because why hasn't he thought about going there?
I'm trying
'Cause I
to
think-
remember.
I'm
'Cause
pretty sure it got like attacked or something, if I remember
Yeah,
right, or destroyed. Or
it got attacked because I remember we had the Maul versus Ahsoka showdown, which is the Battle of Mandalore. That was the big battle, and then at the end, I think his name's Gar Saxon, the red helmet.
Mm.
He got taken away, obviously, and then in Rebels, they're sort of all the Mandalorians are sort of separate into factions, and you got the good Mandalorians, I think, Clan Ren, and then you got the Saxons as well, and then you got Fen Rao, and then the Saxons are sort of controlled by the Empire. So they're all split up,
Right.
I think. I think Mandalore was taken over by the Empire. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I think that's right because a lot of there were a lot of Republic troops on Mandalore before the Order 66.
Yeah.
So a lot of them would have gone under the Empire once Order 66 had gone. Because it was
Right.
like, if you remember, like it was mostly the Republic troops that like helped take back Mandalore in the episodes in Clone Wars. Like there was what they called Death Watch. I think like they
Yeah.
also sided with them, but it was mostly
Yeah.
Republic troops, so you could see how they would take over pretty easily.
I think it started with that
Yeah.
episode. I think we saw the clan split up as well with that episode where Maul took over, and he defeated he defeated Pre Vizsla, and he beheaded him, and then we saw Death Watch split up there, and that's when Bo-Katan left, and then Rebels we have all the different as well. We have all the different factions of Mandalore, and I think Mandalore's been taken over by the Empire, or it's destroyed or desolate because Clan Ren's on like a snow planet, and then Fen Rao had his boys on like a different planet as well, and then
Right.
the Saxons were with the Empire. So
Right.
I don't know. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay. So that's probably why it doesn't go to
Yeah.
Mandalore. Anyway, yeah, let's
Yeah,
continue.
it was a good sidetrack, but it's good to like know
Yeah,
the backstory
yeah.
because it's obviously going to play into this season. Hopefully, that all Mandalorian because the
100%.
Darksaber's massive. The Darksaber's massive in Rebels because Bo-Katan left off with it, and then now
Yeah.
Moff Gideon's got it, so they got to explain that as well. But then we go. Obviously, he gets intercepted by X-wings because he has to travel by sublight. He can't travel by hyperspace because of the eggs. For some reason, according like they'll get destroyed or something. They can't withstand it.
The frog lady.
And then it was a cool scene with the X-wings, the cool communications. I like the dialogue there. It was sort of like Mandalorian didn't know how like to communicate with him. He was trying to be subtle. And then it was a cool chase sequence, sort of similar to like, I don't know if you guys have watched Top Gun, but it was similar to that in terms of like how the jets are filmed and that. It was pretty cool how he tried to maneuver. Obviously, drop the ship down as well, take off other fuel, and then let it like skydive, I think, or free fall. And then obviously he falls into the cave, and then we have the episode, which is the whole plot. It covers the whole plot. And fitting enough, today I watched Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It was exactly the same as that, where it was a similar mixture of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and Alien. We had the alien eggs where they rise out sort of to like the xenomorph egg, and then Aragog, the spider in Chamber of Secrets, comes out, and then you have all these little spawn chasing after him. Similar to Harry and Ron, they hide in the ship or the car, and they're using like spells, and in this case they're using his blaster, and then they end up getting rescued.
Yeah.
So
Very similar, yeah. I like that a lot. As soon as I saw those eggs, I was like, oh, something
yeah,
had to lay them eggs.
yeah, because the
So,
episode,
I like
like obviously he had to repair the ship, but he still hadn't had the obstacle yet. Like there was something, I knew there was something gonna happen, and when you saw the eggs in the background where it was like the spa room sort of, where the frog lady was bathing and keeping her eggs warm, and then yeah, you saw Baby Yoda going like he gobbled that off. And then we saw that
it
happen.
was I know last week we talked about how the first episode was like a Clone Wars kind of episode. Has like there was a problem that kind of plan didn't go according to plan,
Yeah,
and now they had like did another plan. It had like if last week was a Clone Wars episode, this was like 100% a Clone Wars
yeah,
episode. because
like a big
it
sidetrack
had
to
that-
the main plan. Yeah,
Yeah, it had a full like one step
a
forward.
standalone episode kind
Yeah.
of thing.
and
Yeah, like he's even further basically behind because he lost a lead and now he like got stuck find another lead. Like he was
And
really
his ship's damaged.
yeah. So we'll see where he goes from here. I
And-
think the episodes will start to pick up. I mean, is it 8 this season?
yeah, there's only 8. That's why like I was like it was a
So-
bit of a
Really?
waste of an episode, to be honest. But I think
Yeah.
the payoff is going to be crazy eventually, because who we've
Hopefully.
seen that it's been cast and what we know is going to happen. We don't know how they're going to reveal him. We don't know how big of a role they're going to play. But still, we're yet to see Greef Karga. We're yet to see Cara Dune. We're yet to see Ahsoka. We're yet to see Sabine. We're yet to see Bo-Katan. Like, there's still so much more. We don't know if Boba Fett's going to come into play. So that's all going to happen in 6 episodes as well. We don't know how much of a role they're going to play, but there's still so much forward to look so much to look forward to. We don't know what's going to happen with Yoda species as well. So
Yeah, I just
True.
want the same thing happening because I remember when I was watching Clone Wars,
Yeah.
this the final season. The first 4 are okay,
and then the big clump in the middle.
Yeah, I don't mind if that's 1 episode long. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? To break the show a bit. You know what I mean? And 2, like if it's like this next week, I won't be too critical as long as it starts to build and starts to lead into something. I mean, like the Boba Fett cameo right at the end of the first episode really kept you in there. Like that really made the episode feel like it wasn't just a filler. Whereas this one, there really wasn't anything at the end. I mean, he's just left the planet. I mean, it was a cool cameo from Dave Filoni as one of the
Dave Filoni as the X-Wing
fighters.
pilot.
and yeah, go Nick.
I was just gonna say, like, it's the one thing that I like about it is that it establishes like the presence of the rebellion after after they've won the war, you know, because like
Starting
I don't
to
think
control
there's
more
been
sectors.
anything, huh?
Starting to like control more sectors.
Yeah, and just
Pinpoint
like
the
I guess
Imperial
what-
leftovers, I
what
guess.
happened.
Yeah.
Like, you know, through that they could probably start to bring about Luke and like all of them, you know, and like Han and Leia and like all that kind of stuff. It's just like it shows they have at least some sort of presence, I guess.
And then
Yeah, and that's what these side kind of shows are the best for because I watched the what's it called again? The first sequel. I forgot the name.
Which one?
What's it called again? The Force Awakens.
Yeah, okay.
I watched and basically, sorry, those movies are trash.
They're not that
Sorry.
memorable anyway, so I'll forgive you.
Exactly, and that's probably the best one. So
yeah, it is the best one. I think.
At the start of that, basically, you see the rise of the First Order,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then you hear about the New Republic, but you barely even know they're a thing. Like they literally get like a one cut shot when their planets get like.
But they get
destroyed.
wiped out and
That's
nothing.
all you hear about
Yeah.
them. This shows like some establishment, some background. Like that's what these side shows. Like if it was Clone Wars, it's like the history of Anakin, and that's because it looks like it a bit too quickly in the movies. They go into it, and it's
That's
like,
why I love
it fits
the depth they add,
Yeah,
like
so-
Rebels and Clone Wars, the depth they add to it, and it's so good. We talked about that in the first Flicks and Bricks episode about the depth those shows add, and then this episode obviously was like similar to one of those episodes where we had like the normal sidetrack mission, and then it just so happens we had to like spend the whole episode on it for him to get out. Fair enough. Like obviously he's fixed his ship before, I think in season 1 where it was completely taken apart by the Jawas, and he fixed it. So that's why I'm gonna get a bit of leeway the way he fixed his ship. Like they sort of like gloss over it, like it's just there with the I think the laser gun or whatever I don't know what it's called, but he's just fixing it up. But we see it like from the outside, and he's got a hole in it as well. I don't know how he fixed that. So
Yeah, well, he said he didn't fix the hull, but also,
I think he trapped
to your
himself
point,
at the top, like
yeah, he
he's closed the
pressurized
door.
himself
Yeah,
in the cockpit or something.
Yeah, just the cockpit. Yeah.
Also, like he's like halfway through. I think he's trying to repair the hull. He gets interrupted to go to the spa because she leaves on him, the frog lady. And then when he comes back, they get into the cockpit and they start flying like instantly. Like it just didn't seem right. Like although it was like started flying, it seemed like it shouldn't have been able to move.
because he comes
Yeah,
back
but I
straight
think
away. Keep going,
I,
Nick.
I was gonna say I think that like from what it seemed like his plan was to get the whole thing to like his plan was to fix the whole thing because he didn't really have any time he didn't have any time pressure to leave like before they found the spiders and all that kind of stuff, so if I were him, or like if you were thinking logically, you'd fix the cockpit first, which is like the bare necessities, and then kind of work your way down the ships, the hull, and like the rest of it, whereas so I think that's why they
It
also
could be, but
show
it was a
like
big.
that.
Like, he was like saying that it was cold and stuff, and he needed to stay warm, as well as saying, "I can't protect you out there." So he knew there was danger even before
Because
the spiders.
Yeah.
It could be an element of that, but it just seemed a bit too cliche that he just got the ship running after hitting it with a tool for like 5 seconds, which would have got like,
just a quick fix stim shot.
like a Battlefield one, where they just tank it.
Because like
that's true, and also like why would he want to fix the entire thing and not just get the bare necessities and leave? Like if he had the bare necessities from the start, he should have just
didn't he
done
leave
that
straight
and then
away?
left.
Because he's like he comes out straight away because obviously we had the big spider thing and the mouth looks like the Kraken from Pirates, and then he comes out straight away and he's like, I think he said something. Oh, I hope this works. I'm trying this now. Like, why didn't you just try that straight away when the ship crashed? And then obviously the ship got more damage when the big spider fell on it as well. I don't know what species it is, but
true. That was a good scene actually.
But then at the end we see that the ship is still damaged. Obviously, we have the back landing pod. I think is just completely open as well. So I think he's pressurized the cockpit only. So the ship is not fully functional still. So I don't know what planet he's gonna go to next. It's obviously I don't think it's the water planet because that's Mont Color. So hopefully we get introduced to a new planet.
Yeah, I think you said that he was going to go to like another planet first to get his ship fixed, and then keep going to the water planet.
Okay. Because
the estuary, whatever that is.
The one
what's an estuary? Isn't that like a?
Because
I think I've heard it before.
I don't know if that was the estuary, the moon planet, and then he's going to the gas planet then now, for the eggs, obviously, and then find a husband.
Right. Yeah, just that's what I mean about that. Like it's like 2 steps, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like it seems like he's finding something more to do to just get a lead now. So I don't mind if they kind of tied it up in the next episode, but you really don't want to see too many episodes like this because it will take away. I mean, especially if something with 8 episodes doesn't have that luxury of the Clone Wars, like you were saying before, Ellie, where it can spare episodes just because they've got so many, and you want to see. I mean. The worst thing for me about this episode is it didn't really develop much character. I mean, he's already shown to have a softer side, so he didn't really need to prove.
We know Baby Yoda's gonna be cute as always.
Like it was there, but he doesn't. If maybe like the Mandalorian had to face something that he hasn't faced before, and he could develop more character from this episode, you can see why these filler episodes don't get wasted as much. But this one did feel like a bit of a waste. He already has that compassionate side, like we've seen that when he rescued Baby Yoda. So it wasn't really necessary that he was going to help this lady.
From what I've heard, because I'll draw back what I was saying on before about how we know that so many characters are going to be introduced. From what I've heard, someone tweeted this, and she's pretty good source in terms of what she has. She said that midway through the season, there's a dramatic shift in change to the Mandalorian. Like apparently, it shifts focus from him to not being focused on him completely, because. At the moment, we see it's just Mandalorian solo missions at the moment.
It's always been, him.
That's him and Yoda. But then apparently, midway through the season, there's going to be a drastic shift to where it's not going to be focused much of the Mandalorian anymore. And I think that's when you're going to see more characters being introduced.
Right.
Yeah. That'd be good to see.
Because we don't know what's happened to Moff Gideon's little faction, his little Empire faction that's been deserted. Like. We don't know how many more bounty hunters have been tracking Mando, because obviously he's still got the wanted target on him. So there hasn't been much interference besides the start of this episode.
Yeah.
So we don't know what obstacles it's going to face. But I guess we'll see next week and then we'll come back to it.
Yes.
But do you guys have any other comments you guys want to make? Feel free.
No.
One more thing actually. Yeah. We're gonna discuss. I saw rumors about this, but some people are saying that it's possibly R2D2 in the back of the X-wing of
Yeah.
the guy.
When I first
Mm.
was watching it, and they had I think they had like a wide take shot where you were watching Mando's perspective of the X-wing, so it was his window, and they had the
It's
side
not
on,
flying.
yeah,
When
and
they ride up on
they had the side on of the X-wing. I straight away thought to myself, oh, that looks like R2 because I saw the red and I saw the blue and silver, and then
Yeah.
and then obviously we had that, I think it was like 34 minutes 17 in the show, where you had behind the pilot as well. I think it was Dave Filoni's pilot. He had it, or the other one, I
Yeah.
can't remember. He was there.
Yeah, there they go.
And then I went on a live stream after, and some people were saying it is R2D2, some people were saying it's not because he has a green light. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's R2, it like either way, it'd be cool, but like it doesn't. It means basically zero
Yeah,
because
it's just a cool
I mean,
Easter egg.
so I'm not sure what happens because R2 does go offline
After
after
Luke.
trilogy, but
Yeah.
we're not sure when it happens. It says when Luke disappears, but there's not enough evidence to put together when Luke goes away
I
to
think
know where we are.
I think this is right after the Empire's fallen. So you
Yeah.
gotta take into account that Luke starts his own Jedi training, and then he trains Ben Solo, and then he only leaves when Ben Solo turns dark. So I think there's still another,
Right.
I think there's probably still another like 17 to 20 years
Yeah,
before that happens
okay.
because Leia's not pregnant at the end of Return of the Jedi after the Empire falls. And this is set like
Right.
sort of right after, so I'm guessing Ben Solo's still probably a baby or not even born yet in this.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
yeah,
That's a good
That's
point.
a
so
good
there's
point.
still probably another
You'd
17.
think it'd be with Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd still think it would be with Luke, but it's a possibility. Maybe he's just helping the rebellion.
Yeah,
They
so
got
there's
no
still
choice.
probably another 17 to 20 years before, I guess, Ben Solo turns on Luke, and that's when he leaves, and that's when R2 shuts down. So it could possibly be R2. I don't know why
Yeah.
he's on a mission, like, away from Luke, but I don't know.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that's what I think, but that's how I've tried to piece it together. But yeah, we
No,
don't
that
know.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically. I just thought I'd bring it up because.
No, it's a good talking point, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else to cover? I think we've covered most of it. It was obviously in conclusion, like it was a pretty filler episode. I mean, we've talked longer than I think last week about it, but I think that's because we had that little side check about the Clone Wars, and we're trying to discuss similarities between that. And it's good to compare it because we got similar directors and writers on board to who did Clone Wars and Rebels as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for watching, guys, and it's been amazing again. I love doing this series. I can't wait to do it each week with Cameron and Nick, and you never know, we might
Yeah.
get more guests, but Cameron and Nick always up for it, and they
It's
love
good fun.
massive Star Wars lovers, and it's great to discuss it every week, and we have our own
Yeah,
theories, and then I think this week we've come to the same conclusion, sort of like we enjoyed the episode, but thought it was a bit filler. And
Yeah, pretty much.
We understand that there's heaps more to come, obviously, but yeah, other than that's been season 2, episode 2 of The Mandalorian. Thank you for watching, guys, and Cameron and Nick have always been here, and it's always a pleasure to be with them.
Thanks, man. See you guys.
Cheers, man.
God bless,
Yeah.
guys. Take care.